start the recording. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you on the second day. I hope you're fresh and happening. Hmm? Responses, come on.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, absolutely good. I need a lot of interaction.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember yesterday, if you don't interact, then I'm going to go to sleep. Then what will happen? Okay, so good. Okay, last year I had done this particular, bit on the 1st of December. So therefore I put that Happy New Year and everything. So this time I let it be. So wish you a very Happy New Year a few days in advance. Have a very nice time during the New Year Eve and come back absolutely fresh and happening on the 3rd, because I think on the 2nd also you don't want to class, right? So let's take it further. So wish you a very happy new year. Have a blast. Enjoy yourself on that day. The New Year Eve is always going to be a good start. Write on your goals. Write on what you want in life. Live up to it for a few days, then dunk it after a few days because that's what people do. Normal people do. So if you are a normal person, you'll do that. But then if you are a superhuman being, the one which I know that you are, then you're going to be able to live up to that potential for the rest of the year and create more goals and reach your success and get used to being happy and successful all the time. Okay, on that note, let's start. Okay, my first question to all of you: what is it that prevents you from experiencing that zing in your life? That that punch, that happening thing, where you're just there and you know that it's happening for you. So tell me, what is it that stops you from being your true self? You can even unmute and talk. And come on, give me the answers fast. Don't wait, make me wait and pause and all that. Good morning. Where are we? No participation. Hello, 45 participants. Anyone? And let me share the screen. And I ask you this question: what is it that prevents you from experiencing that zing in life? Some of you can easily type and I can share it with ma'am and the others and see if I can get your timings changed. That is waking up in the morning, early in the morning, prevents me from experiencing the zing in my life. I need to come for the evening classes or for the afternoon classes or a little late morning classes. So come on, type it out. Tell me. Can I have some response?
Taking risks in life.
Taking risks in life. Yes, we talked about taking calculated risks yesterday. So what?
Trying new things in life.
Pardon?
Trying new things in life.
Trying new things in life. Okay. I could use the word attempt. Okay. And why we'll do that is fear of what others will think. Log kya kahenge? Societal norms, rules, regulations. What else? Fear of rejection, fear of failure. Guys, please participate. Beliefs of the past, people being judgmental. That's a very beautiful statement, Vedi. Lack of confidence. Yes, these are some of the basic things. Okay. And there are sometimes responsibilities. Yes, a lot of responsibilities can sometimes push you down and burden you, and you feel that, oh no, this is not fair. Overconfidence also, okay. Sometimes overconfidence, overthinking, too much of thinking. When there is a lot of chatter in the brain, it stops you from being, present in the now, and being able to focus on what's going on, and being able to listen to others. When there's chatter in your own brain, you will not be able to listen, and then you can miss out on quite a few things in your life. So what else? Excellent. I've got some important points and I'm happy with the participation. But can I get some more participation also? Can I get a big yes from all of you? Can I just
Yes,
have
ma'am.
everyone typing yes? Negativity, negative people surrounding us. Okay. Yes, Gayatri, thank you for the big, 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 big capital. Yes, I like that. There's a friend of mine, when she takes classes, she asks people to write yes, but then I don't like that because it just reminds me of the ass. And ass can be of two types: the donkey also, who does or the thing that the part of the body that you sit on. So both of them are kind of, sometimes have a little negative connotation. So I like the yes with the e only. Okay, not with the a. I don't want that. I don't want the sass. Okay, and I don't want. Okay, I didn't say that. You didn't hear it. I just, yes, thank you for the emojis, and thank you for waking up. Good morning, everyone. And this is what we are going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about what stops us, what blocks us, what prevents us from finding an effective solution to any situation, or experiencing, the situations with different types of intensities or whatever. So I've just done one thing, that I've taken this from somebody's. The author was unknown. Okay, so I wasn't able to note down the name, but I have picked it up from somewhere, and yet I have added a lot of stuff of my own. Okay, so giving that thank you to the person who wrote this down and divided it, that the blocks can be perceptual, they can be emotional, intellectual, expressive, environmental, and even cultural. Okay, so let's take it further and see, what it is. So before we begin, have you heard of this character called Bumblebee? Bumblebee, or the honeybee, is basically a man. It is not a girl. Okay, and usually women are more hardworking, but this man, this actually male, is a very hardworking male. Okay, he goes around all over to thousands of flowers to produce, honey, takes out the nectar of it, and what comes out of that person's body, of this bumblebee's body, is honey. And they even, kind of make that honeycomb that is made out of wax. So wax comes out of that honeycomb, and the honey also comes out. Okay, and this particular character, according to Nitin Bhaya, who is now, that is Rishi Nitya Pragyaji, who has passed away. I'm going to be saying it today because we just mentioned him. He told us, be like the honeybee. Okay. It does a lot of hard work. But if someone comes and, takes a little panga with it, that is, kind of fingers it and, tries to stop the hard work, this one comes and just stings you. And there and there lets the ego go away and dies. The moment the sting of the honeybee comes out of the body, it's like pulling the plug in their life. So their job is not to hurt you. Their job is to create honey for the queen bee and for the people to enjoy for the rest of their life. Honey is one product which for centuries cannot go bad. You don't have to keep it in the fridge. You don't have to, any temperature it can withstand. And honey is the one of the only items produced by man, or, in nature, which does not change its composition. It does not rot. It does not get converted. The fact is that honey is very sweet. Okay. And yet this slide talks about something else. It says that aerodynamically, the body of this honeybee or bumblebee is so funnily made, and the wings are so thin and that actually these are not fit enough to fly. They can't fly. Of course, nowadays the scientists have proved that it can fly, but at one time the scientists could not prove it. And whether it can fly or it cannot fly, the bumblebee or the honeybee does not know it. And because it does not know about its limitations, it happily flies. Are you getting it? And the moment it hurts somebody, it lets go of its ego and apologizes by giving up its own life. Are you getting the point? How many of you knew about the story of this bumblebee?
No, ma'am, we don't know.
You didn't know? Okay,
Yes.
so many of you didn't know. So I hope it was a good eye opener. So thank you. And Hitesh, I love your other thing that many of the things that stops us in living in our true potential is the excuses that we make. Extremely good. I love it. Okay. So on that note, with a very positive thing, I again ask you, I open the forum and ask you, what are your expectations from today? What do you expect me? I'm going to be talking about what is it that stops you, what are the barriers towards your success, and what is it that stops you from being successful in a very practical tone, but it has its own structure also. There will be not one but several films being shown today as an example and as a motivator. So yesterday we just saw one from The Secret, but today there's going to be plenty. So tell me, what do you expect from this program, from these next 1.5 hours? Go ahead. Quickly. I give you 5 seconds. I want some participation. Good. So there are no expectations. So I can do what I want. Are you ready for? Okay, Aditya at least came up with something, and then Isha also. Motivation to start doing something. That motivation we are going to be talking about a lot in the coming lectures, and we can overcome all our barriers. Trust me, it's not possible, Aditya, to overcome all your barriers. Okay, barriers keep coming in new forms and new ways. It's just that I wish today my objective is to empower you with some amount of, yes, there will be motivation, Isha, that some amount of that, that knowledge with that twinkle twinkle little star, where you just open your, kind of ways and some techniques and some realization that you can do a lot. Okay, so let's go about the whole thing. And to keep myself motivated, this is what I do. And one, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it. Okay, so whenever I see this slide, are you ready for new ideas? I have to say a yes. So I'm going to give myself a big hand and I'm going to say yes. So public speaking, yes, that is also going to be there. And just say whether it is right or wrong. What, baby? What did you say?
Ma'am, the confidence which you have,
Uh-huh.
like, don't stop, like, don't think about speaking anything. Just say whether it is wrong or right.
No, no, no. At your age and with your status, you just can't say and whatever you that comes into your mind. No, you got to be so powerful here that moment, and you have to realize that you are powerful up there. So you think before you talk. Okay, and whatever comes out, if it is coming out from a pure love, if you're feeling positive and you're feeling in love, and then you want to say something and you don't want to think about it, you don't want to process it, then please go right ahead. Watch your feelings. If you're feeling loving, happy, joyful, then say whatever you that comes into your mind without thinking. Okay, But if you're not feeling loving, joyful, and do you notice I use the word not? I'm not saying if you're feeling angry, miserable, horrible, judgmental. Okay, but I finally said it. So if you're not feeling loving, joyful, okay, non-judgmental or whatever, then at that time be very careful of what comes out of your mouth. Okay. Have I
Yes,
answered
ma'am.
your question, Vaidehi?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And as you grow, whatever be your status, whatever be your role in the organization, in the family, in wherever you are, you've got to be responsible for everything. You can't even pitch up or be there without being completely dressed and ready for action. Are you getting it? You got to be
Yes,
prepared.
ma'am.
So when I'm going to be talking about public speaking, I'm going to tell you how important it is for you to be prepared, because if you are not prepared with your presentation, you know it just means you don't respect your audience. So I have come across a lot of teachers and a lot of, with due respect to all of them, and a lot of senior people with years of experience. They just say they don't come prepared, and they say that I'll just go to speak what comes from my. Okay, for some of them it's fine, but I still um, believe in preparing, and I respect those who prepare.
Yes, ma'am.
So, okay, so whether it is Mr. Ratan Tata or it was, um, you know, any of these big speakers, even Steve Jobs and all that, they always prepared their lectures. When they were asked to give impromptu speeches, they were impromptu speeches. So that was a different matter. But even for impromptu speeches, trust me, speakers like us have actually prepared our impromptu speeches, that in case we are put on in a spot and we are asked to give an impromptu speech or impromptu introduction or whatever, we've actually done our preparation before. Okay. So the fluency doesn't just come out of the blue. It doesn't just happen, overnight. There is a lot of toil and a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes. And that is where you should be prepared for that. And you should do it in such a way that people around you don't even know that you're working hard. I can assure you that before we got married, my husband used to be very surprised. We were in a courtship for more than 6.5 years before we actually tied the knot. And it was love at first sight, but still we took our time. We had our reasons. So he used to tell me, I don't see you studying. I don't see you reading. You say you read, and I actually have seen books around you. You were always carrying books around you. But I don't see you reading, and I don't see you hearing the news, and I don't know, like, how are you so updated? So I was like, I'm no I didn't have anything to say. Then when we got married after 3 years, he said, I'm living with you 24 by 7. I'm not even like we are working together. I still don't see you reading. I still don't see you kind of, listening, I mean, reading the newspaper or listening to the news or whatever. And then how are you so updated? And I am. I still am. Okay. And right now I'm totally lost without him. The fact is that. So I've just said yes. So let's start with the perceptual blocks. Any other questions or any other doubts? Please feel free to interrupt me. I have no problem whatsoever. And this lecture is such that there have been times when I have been, asked to give this within only 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour and all that. And I've done that. Okay. So I can even kind of run through it without your participation. But I really love it when there is participation. So please give me the participation. And on that note, let's look at what the perceptual blocks are. What is perception? Perception is something that is, how we see the world from our own eyes, how we listen to the world from our ears, how we taste the universe with our mouth and with our tongue, and how we feel. Okay, so we use all our five senses and we take in information. Okay, so when we take in information itself, when we process the information, the way we process the information is called the process of perception. Okay, that is the first thing that we learn in psychology. When we were taught introduction to psychology, the first topic was what? Perception. How a person takes the information in. How many times we have come across, situations where we've said something to someone, where we've complimented, where we have praised someone and we have been given a reprimand, and we wonder, what did I do wrong? Why are you misunderstanding me? I'm being nice to you. And you get patkas. Why does that happen? Is because they have not picked up what you wanted to say. They were defensive, they were offensive. So perception is a huge topic. Okay, there is so much of stereotyping. The moment you talk about teachers, we have so much respect for our teachers. The moment you talk about mothers, we have so much respect for our mothers. Okay, and yet we do not respect our fathers as much as we respect our mothers in many situations, because many people have got fathers during those times who used to be addicted to certain substances, like maybe alcohol or smoking or pan or something like that. And there were some men who were not so responsible. And yet, we also know that there are several women who are not responsible, and certain men who are extremely responsible and who are very good with cooking and etc. etc. But certain stereotypes are formed in life. Certain times, there are certain problems that are happening in our life. We don't recognize it. Okay, and we just do not see things in the perspective that could be the correct way, the truth. So truth itself is multidimensional. Truth is not absolute at all. What is right for you is left for the other person. Okay, what is front for you is back for the other person. So you really can't say. So if you're coming from Nagar Road, you've got to turn into Victoria Garden, you got to take a right. But if you're coming from Kalyani Nagar, from the North Avenue, you got to take a left to enter into Victoria Garden. So both of them are right. So situations in life are multidimensional. You just cannot take anything as absolute. Even the speed of light, the spectrum is vast. So when the light is split, okay, and into that Vibgyor, every color of the light has its own speed. But as white light, again, that is supposed to be the only absolute in life. Even temperature, the Kelvin scale, the 0, okay, degrees Kelvin, I'm talking about that. That is a derived state. Those of you who've studied science, okay. Otherwise, even 0 degree centigrade also has got a certain amount of latent heat. The heat is, if you've studied about thermal engineering or a little bit about the thermodynamics, you'll realize, and about heat in physics up to class 10th or 12th, you'll notice that there's something called the latent heat. Okay, on that note, I'm going to take it forward that perception is something very, very vast. Okay, now look at this screen. What do you see? Which animal is visible here?
Frog.
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 Whale.
Okay, you can type also. I can see that also. Great. Frog. And how many of you
Frog.
can see? How many of you can see? A horse also. Frog and a horse. Okay. So how do
Yes,
you see
ma'am, when we
the?
take the photo.
Okay. So if you just turn your head to the right, turn your head to the right. All of you, turn your head to the right. Can you see the horse now?
Yes,
How many
ma'am.
of you can now see the horse? Okay. So you can see the horse now because I have turned the picture itself. Now, can you see the frog also? So you turn your head to the left, you can see the frog again. Correct? So this is a picture which is like, the artist has made it in such a way that from this angle you can see the frog, and if you change the angle, you can see a horse. So what is the difference between a horse and a frog? So much difference, okay? And yet this picture is telling us that the same situation, some of you will see the frog and some of you will see the horse, depending on which angle you're looking at and which perspective and what side of the picture you are standing. Are you getting the point? So this is just one of them, and there are several other pictures that I can show you about perception. Perception itself, I've got a huge. Can I tell you that I have a lecture on perception? Okay, I teach psychology, so that perception is there as a full lecture. So I've just picked up a couple of slides from there, which is the errors and the biases in attribution. It's also called the attribution error in perception. Okay, so what is this fundamental attribution error? And what is this self-serving bias? You can take a snapshot of this particular screen, but I'll explain it to you in my own words. Okay, so what happens, I'll do it with a story or with an example. Not a story, actually, it's just an example. Okay, so what happens is in school that you get good marks. Okay, so when you get good marks and your friend doesn't get enough marks or fails in that particular subject, what happens? What do you say? Oh, I got good marks. You know why? Because I worked very hard. You know why? Because I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I pay attention in class, I can, my comprehension skills are good, my remembering skills are good, my ability to write is good, I'm very crystal clear about the subject because I'm smart. Okay, but if, and you know why the friend failed? Because he's not smart, he's an idiot, he doesn't work hard. you know he just doesn't want to work hard. He doesn't have that in him. Okay, and it happens the other way around, that you fail in that subject and your friend gets good marks. Remember Three Idiots? So जब friend फर्स्ट आता है तो बहुत दुख होता है तो फ्रेंड फेल होता है तो बहुत दुख होता है, बट जब फ्रेंड फर्स्ट आ जाता है तो बहुत ही ज्यादा दुख होता है, इंसान जल जाता है. So the friend got very good marks and you have failed in the subject. You know why you failed? Because the teacher was not good, because the concept was not explained properly. Because there's disturbance in the house, your younger brother or sister troubles you, there's no electricity, you don't have a proper computer, you got to study from this phone. What is this? You can't understand it. It's everyone's fault. And you know what? It's the biggest fault is my friend's fault, because he or she did not explain it to me. Because that person is selfish. Usne mujhe galat sikhaya. That person wanted me to fail. Okay, and you know why he came first? Because he's just lucky, because his father's got money, because he's got a tutor to teach him. Okay, because it is sheer dumb bloody luck. Okay, are you getting it? Are you understanding it? So this is called errors and biases in attributions. The fundamental attribution error is a tendency to underestimate the influence of external factors and overestimate the influence of internal factors when making judgments about the behavior of others. कि उसको सुख है, that person has got electricity, that person has got AC, that person has got his own room, that person has got money to pay for the books. I don't have it, I'm poor, my parents are poor. Okay, but if I fail, I blame the external world. If that person passes, I blame, or rather attribute it to the external things. I do not take responsibility for what happens inside. If that person passes, he's definitely not intelligent. But if I pass, I am definitely the intelligent. Then I forget about my father being, in spite of my father, in spite of my brother, in spite of the fact that I'm poor, in spite of the fact that electricity, मतलब वो क्या कहते हैं कि मैं रात को जो है ना, मतलब कि I'll share a video with you all, later on. I don't have it right now, but it had come to me on this WhatsApp that पुराने जमाने में ना लोगों को बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स होते थे. तो वो लोग इलेक्ट्रिक कहते हैं ना कि वो स्ट्रीट लाइट के नीचे बैठ के पढ़ते थे. So then that guy saying दिन में क्यों नहीं पढ़ते थे? रात को क्यों पढ़ते थे? उनके पास एटलीस्ट स्ट्रीट लाइट तो थी, गांव में तो वो भी नहीं होती है. और बोलो. तो कैंडल और दिया के नीचे पढ़ना पड़ता है. वेल आई हैव डन दैट ऑल. मैंने तो एक्चुअली बैठ के मिल्स एंड बोन्स पढ़ी है उस पे स्ट्रीट लाइट, बालकनी में खड़े होके स्ट्रीट लाइट पे ऐसे करके आई यूज्ड टू रीड बिकॉज टॉर्च खत्म हो गई है और डांट पड़ती थी. उनको पता चल जाता था. तो व्हेन एवरीवन वाज स्लीपिंग तो हम निकालते थे अपना मिल्स एंड बोन्स और स्ट्रीट लाइट के ऊपर वो बाहर में यात्रिक, जो दोज पीपल हु नो इलाहाबाद विल नो यात्रिक होटल ऑपोजिट विमेंस पॉलिटेक्निक, वहां की जो लाइट थी अपने बालकनी में चोपड़ा बिल्डिंग में खड़े होके हम वहां पे ऐसे पढ़ते रहते थे. और फुल मून जब होता था तब तो बहुत अच्छा पढ़ पाते थे. नो मून होता तो बड़ा प्रॉब्लम होता था. अमावस्या आई डिडंट लाइक ओनली बिकॉज हमने तो मून लाइट में भी पढ़ा है. और बोलो. ओके बट क्या पढ़ा है? नॉट पढ़ाई की बातें. मिल्स एंड बोन्स एंड एनिट ब्लाइटन एंड हार्डी बॉयज, ठीक है, वो सब पढ़ा है. ओके, सिलेक्टिव परसेप्शन इज व्हाट? That we only want to see things that interest us. Another example I'll give you is that a botanist and a person, who is a zoologist, they are going into a jungle for a jungle safari. So the botanist will obviously be looking at the plants and the flora part of it, okay? And your zoologist is going to be looking at the animals, the fauna part of it. Okay, animals or even the insects. So the ones who are into studying insects, they are called, I've forgotten the names. Those were the days when I used to remember all this and share and show off a lot. But whatever you are interested in, you're going to be looking at that. An artist, when an artist looks at a butterfly, they see the beauty of the colors and the shine and all that. But a person who's into studying butterflies, or who's into studying about moth, because a butterfly is a moth, then they're going to be looking at the genre of the moth. They're looking at the type of the moth. They're looking at the life cycle of that moth. Are you getting it? So that is selective perception. And then there is also this whole concept called halo effect. Okay. Now this gentleman, if you were to use your hand and just stop, the in front of the screen, just put that hand and you look at this doctor. Okay, will you trust the guy on the left, that is the one who's in the doctor's clothes? Yes. To do your father's operation, a bypass surgery maybe? Yes. But if you were to see the same person in a bar in the evening wearing this t-shirt and with tattoos all over, would you trust that person with your father's operation? You will not, right? Will you trust the doctor with that, DJ machine? You will not. Okay. Will you trust the doctor to be able to mix the drinks and make a mojito for you, or a Bloody Mary for you, or maybe, whichever, some fancy, blue karaoke drink or whatever for you? No, you would not. So what happens is that you judge people based on how they are dressed, on how they speak. When a person comes to you and speaks in fluent English, you think, oh, this person is very intelligent. Are you sure? Okay. If a person speaks to you in pure Marathi, you judge the person. Will this person be able to, go abroad and actually work in the IT sector and do the computer coding? Well, you'll be surprised. Some of the Hindi speaking or vernacular speaking people are actually very intelligent when it comes to actual forging of the metals, or actually, getting stuff done, where it comes to the car or the. So you find that there'll be some people who are extremely good with speaking English, and yet they can hear the sound of the car and tell where the problem is. Okay, they can be very good mechanics also. So we generally judging a person by the cover is what is called the halo effect. So when a person has got, that shining, bright, look, you are like, oh, this person is, Godhead. He is Jesus. So, let's go down and say Merry Christmas, Jesus, and, thank you for coming back to us, and the whole works. Okay. So the dress makes that effect also. So any questions so far? Sorry. Okay, so now let's talk about the emotional blocks. And I'm going to go a little faster right now. This is where a lot of us get stuck. Fear of making mistakes and looking foolish in front of people, low self-esteem, fear of taking risks, fear of failure, fear of rejection. Okay, then we are also very, very, careful about avoiding the negative people around us. Some people are emotionally blocked because there are no challenges in their life, and some people need a lot of organization. They need their own desk, they need their own computer, they need their own pillow, they need their own book, they need their own diary, they need their own pen, they need their own clothes. Okay, so that need for order. And there are some people who just cannot take even the slightest stress. I have seen in classes when I get a little passionate and I talk a little loudly, there are some kids who get scared of me and they're not able to handle that kind of energy. And then I have to, kind of pull myself down, because there are times I get so passionate and excited and happy about situations that, so therefore let's look at all these things. And before we look at it, I'm going to share with you my own story of how I was petrified, not afraid, petrified of dogs. I could not take the street dogs or the pets in people's houses. And in Allahabad, during my time, ours was the only crazy building. Okay. Now there are plenty of buildings and societies, etc., etc. But at that time, there were only bungalow cultures, and we were the only ones living in a community in a building which was very funnily built. It's still there. They've not yet broken it up. Okay. So there are, it's an completely empty, but for some reason it's still not breaking. And so I was still very scared of dogs. And now just look at this video. This is a few years ago. Yeah. Can you see this little beagle? And I've just made it very a little speed, as look at the way she's just going on licking me, going on licking me, going on licking me, going on licking me. And I'm like, getting completely slobbered with her saliva. Okay. She's still around in my building, in the flat, same building, C building 404. And she is such a pudding. And look at her. Can you see that? Okay. So any of you, can you give me a thumbs up or something like that? That I was so afraid of dogs and now I have a dog licking me. Okay. And not only this dog, but I'm absolutely comfortable with all the street dogs, not only in Kalyani Nagar, but all over Pune and wherever I go. I'm very happy even with Rottweilers now. I'm absolutely okay with German Shepherds, which are so huge. I'm okay with even Saint Bernards, which are the hugest dogs. They are like lions. Okay. They are really, really, yeah. So this one seems to be like a cute pup, and she was at that time only 6 months old or something like that. But trust me, I am so comfortable with dogs right now. And not only am I comfortable with dogs, I decided to take my fear a step ahead. And I said, let me be comfortable with whom, that creature with everyone is very afraid of. So I faced my fear, and here I am. I give you this 1.5-year-old, looks like a full-grown tiger sitting in my lap, and I'm feeding it milk. Can you see that? Okay, so I'm going to speed this up also a little. Okay, so this was outside Bangkok. This is, you can see it's inside all that, and there are other cubs and other ones also. But there are places in Bangkok where the tigers are moving around freely, and you can touch them, you can kind of pose with them, you can pet them as if they are normal cats. Okay, getting it? And not only this, I was also afraid, extremely afraid of snakes at one time, and yet I decided to take that on also. Okay, this is in Singapore. Okay, in Sentosa.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
You can clearly see that I am quite fully pregnant also, with at least 5 kids in my tummy, and I keep delivering, perpetually pregnant. Okay, you can laugh on that too. Okay, so basically, fear is something which is false evidence appearing real. The word fear itself tells you that it's false evidence appearing real. And look at the word fear. Remove the F part of it, it becomes ear. Just open up your ears, open up your mind. Okay, and the word ear has the word R in it. Okay, there's nothing to be, and the word ear has also got the word era in it. Okay, so fear is nothing but just something which is here. And when the fear comes in, when the fear actually comes in, it can freeze you. Whoever is unmuted, please mute yourself kindly. Okay, so fear is something that can really, kind of literally play with your mind. And I, please forgive me for using that word, but it can literally screw up your brain. It can fry your brain at that time. It can just fry your entire body, or it can freeze you. It can make you feel cold. You just don't know what to do. So three things happen when fear takes over. You either freeze, or you flight, that is, you run away, or you fight. Okay, so if you find that someone is being very rude to you and fighting with you, etc., they're coming from a space of fear. If someone is arguing with you, not discussing with you, they're coming from a space of fear. So forgive them. And please realize that life is so uncertain. The Even if you are in the most what can I say, closed environment, safe environment, all those people who had even the slightest fear of acquiring corona acquired it. And those who were completely clear and who said, I'm not going to get corona, did not get it. But there were people who were very clear, I'm not going to get corona, and they went out and they did everything. But their families were, having fear for them. So they got injected with that fear from outside, from the environment, from their loving people, or from the society, or from the people. And if their guard was not strong enough, the fear just went into their system, you know became a little disease, and they actually manifested the symptoms. But they have to have some fertile ground in their own subconscious. And we talked about the subconscious yesterday, that unless that fertility is not there, if you sow a seed, it is not going to grow up. So there will be lots of diseases, lots of problems, lots of issues that will be thrown upon you. But if you have your defense, or if you don't even have that, place for that kind of negative thinking, nothing will happen. I'll give you another example of people judging. My own example again, because seriously, I've lived up to all these things. Only then I have put it down on the screen, and I'm sharing this with you with full, you know, prayerfulness and confidence, and with a loving attitude that, guys, hear me. Okay, whatever you fear too much will start getting manifested. It doesn't happen overnight. So whenever you have even the slightest of fear, you can just write it down. Okay, I'm giving this to you as a tip. Write it down and go to your gas. Okay, or take a matchstick or whatever, burn it up. Okay, burn it up, and please flush it down your toilet, or throw it away into your garbage, or just flush it down the sink or something. Just make sure that your fear is just burnt away. Whenever you see a burning fire, whether it is a campfire or something, take away all your fears from your system, whatever you think of, and just imagine it burning. Okay, if you don't have a place to burn, you don't have a place to write, you don't have a place to this thing, and a fear is coming to you, just imagine the fear, and imagine that you have taken a duster, chalk and duster you have. So you just imagine you've taken a light colored light duster, as of it's a bulb kind of a duster, and go to your mind, close your dust, and imagine that scene in front of you, that fear, and just rub it in front of your eyes mentally, and rub the screen and replace it with a positive thought. Because if you leave the little gap, then again another bigger fear can come in. For those of you who are into Marvel comics and who are into, who have seen Doctor Strange is. Uh, have you heard of Doctor Strange? Come on, guys! I want
Yes,
some
ma'am.
Yes,
response. I'm
ma'am.
Yes,
sure that
ma'am.
I'm talking
Yes,
your
ma'am.
language, so at least give me some enthusiasm about, Okay, I was not into Marvel comics, but my son has introduced me to all these things and all the Marvel movies one by one. He showed me all of them. You notice that even these magnificent people, okay, mute yourself also, even these magnificent people have their fears. And whatever be the fear, it will become bigger. You get rid of one fear, another bigger fellow will come. So now your question could be that, ma'am, how to handle this fear? How to deal with this fear who is like, which is like, what the hell, what's happening? So how do you deal with it? Well, you deal with it one at a time, and you make friends. Okay, you become the Avengers, and then you can fight it together. If it's really big, if it's Thor, then you got to come together, and you got to take away what he thinks the power is in. The power is not in the stones outside. The power is not in that money, or the, in the gems that you're wearing. And I'm also wearing a ruby. Okay, I am still wearing it. So the power is not in this, but the power is in your perception that the power is in this. So you change your perception. You become a ruby yourself. You don't need a little stone on your finger. Okay, but I'm still wearing it because I love it, and I love the red. And I actually, there was a time when I used to wear rings all over. Okay, I used to wear all kind of colored stones everywhere, and I still have them also, maybe around here somewhere. So whenever I just like wearing rings. Okay, so the power is within you. You remember that. Okay, and research has proved that speaking in front of a group is the biggest fear that people have. People don't have fear of death. That is at number 7 level. People are more afraid of climbing mountains and falling from there. People are more afraid of, living on any floor beyond the second floor. Therefore, there are many houses and buildings where people are not bothered about the view. They want to stay on the first floor, on the ground floor. They want to be in a bungalow. They don't want to go to such heights. And these are also the people who are afraid of growth, who are afraid of power, who are afraid of responsibility, who are afraid of, having more children, who are afraid of earning more. They don't know what to do with their money. Literally, I love my dad a lot, but giving his example, he still has vertigo issues. We could never stay in a house. He doesn't like to go, when he comes to my house, he doesn't like to go to the balcony ever, because he's afraid of looking down. He feels that he'll get that spinning thing and he'll fall. Okay, so people are more afraid of these little insects and bugs, of these honeybees, of these wasps, okay, than they are of, swimming. People are more afraid of financial problems than of death. Easier to die than to remain poor. Are you with me? So look at all these statistics over here. And if you want to build up your confidence, just learn to get up out there and start speaking in public. Whatever be the language, you may speak in complete khachadi. Okay, not khichadi, khachadi. Okay. But when you speak in sheer passion, when you present, when you dance, when you express yourself in public, that confidence just comes in. That fear just goes for a toss. अरे लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातें, कहीं बीत ना जाए रहना. Rena means the night. Prepare yourself for this day and for the night. Enjoy the brightness of the day. Make powerful presentations. I'll give you an opportunity. I'm going to be talking about how to make powerful presentations. Okay, it's a full lecture. Can you see this here? If this thing that there is a full lecture behind it. Okay. From here, it is showing Sandvik, December 2016, but I've got one separately for you all also. Okay. And then this fear of being rejected. Come on, yeah. Be like that old movie that of that Saif Ali Khan, and write it down. I'm forgetting the name. That song in that, Jab bhi koi ladki dekhe mera dil deewana bole. Come on, sing with me. Ole ole ole. That particular movie was about, if someone rejects you, big deal. There's always somebody else. If this job rejects you, there's always someone else, some other job, some other better job. If not better, worse, but there is someone else. And what you may consider to be worse again is your perception. Okay, what could be worse for someone else is basically where you'll get your growth. Today you see a road, or you see a film, which is like, oh my God, it's so good. And there's another film which is, oh my God, it's not so good. Okay. And you don't get the ticket for this, and you get an entry into this, you'll be so surprised. You will really cut your stomach and everything, and go, and when you see this movie, you'll find it was overrated. Trust me, ask Jaya Bachchan. She thinks Amitabh Bachchan is overrated. And probably Rekha ji just wants him even now, and even Romita wants him now just because, he's not accessible. No, no, I don't want my Amitabh Bachchan anymore. I mean, because I got my own Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. Professor Suresh Vishwanath was my Amitabh Bachchan. I got my own Amitabh Bachchan. I don't want him anymore. Okay. Are you getting the point? So you could use your own examples. I'm talking about my age examples. Are you getting the point? So if there is one person you have fallen for completely, I'll give you another example of another client of mine. I cannot mention her name because it's unethical. Okay. This girl was completely nuts about a guy she was in love with, for sake of discussion, let's call him, my favorite name, Ram. Okay. Ram and Sham, these two names I'll write, So she fell in love with this Ram, and she was like, I want Ram, I want Ram, I want Ram. Okay. I reached the stage with her where she actually had Ram's mother coming and proposing to the family and saying, I want this girl as my daughter-in-law. Last moment, this girl just gets up and, I don't know what she says, and, comes to me, phones me up in the middle of the night and cries, and, makes me get out of my comfort zone and my sleep. And I had to go and talk to her for 2-3 hours. I said, what happened? She said, I don't know. Okay. 4 months later, and she was very angry with me also. I said, why are you angry with me, sweetheart? You got what you wanted. You only kind of, told him to whatever, F off and all that, and the mother and all that. I mean, I really don't know. She said, you tell me what's happening in my mind. I said, you don't know what's happening in your mind. How can I tell you what's happening in your mind? Because I could see you were crazily in love with him. 4 months later, she comes back and she says, I'm engaged. I'm very happy for you. And after 1 week, she says that engagement broke. Okay, now this guy was Sham. So initially, she didn't like the guy. He kept on pursuing her. The moment she got engaged to him, after all the ceremony and everything, and the exchange of sari and some little bitsy jewelry also and everything, third day from the engagement, she breaks off the engagement. Okay. And, he breaks off the engagement, and she comes back crying. Now he rejected me. Finally, 6 months after that, I hear that she's already got married. And I phone her. I said, you didn't tell me you're already married. She said, I thought that, I jinxed my own life, and therefore I'm not going to tell anyone about it. I said, so tell me, how's the guy? And then she comes, crying to me that he is the world's most wonderful person. And she said, he is my Professor Suresh Vishwanath. What he is to you, I have found my Professor Suresh Vishwanath. And she used these words, that I found my Dr. Suresh Vishwanath. And I was so happy for her. She came onto my shoulders and cried and cried and cried. So I'll just tell you one thing. Look at life as a treasure hunt, and stop getting stuck somewhere. Okay, this is my house, my mother, my sister. There is a lot of possibility out there. Your own sister, your own mother, your own father, your own husband, your own wife, your spouse, your children. everything will happen to you. Let it happen. There are so many common phobias, and can you see the names, and the fears that people live with? Okay, so please get over all your fears, and there are certain techniques. I am not yet certified, but there is a technique called the Bach flower technique, and I'm going to type it down for you all. You all can note it down. It's called the Bach flower, BACH. Okay, do your research. Bach flower medicines, these are found in the homeopathy shops. There are certain medicines in the Bach flower. If you take these medicines, you'll be so surprised, your fears will be gone. Boom. Your fears of losing your loved ones, your fears of disease, your fear of corona, fear of cancer, fear of breaking your leg, fear of rejection, fear of not getting what you want in your life, fear of not being loved, accepted, and fear of failing, fear of whatever it is, fear of snakes, fear of being alone, fear of uh, being stuck in a lift, God knows what not. Okay. On this note, I'm going to take a 10 minutes break. Okay. I'm going to give you all 10 minutes break. I was going to take the break a little later, but I'll just come to the break slide. Okay. So take the break and come back after 10 minutes. I think I'm going to increase the speed slightly, so it will be a 7 minutes break. Okay. Okay, guys, let's be back. Quite a few of you just log out no? When I give the break. So there were 77 or something, and then now only 61. Okay, so so this is something which also kind of pulls us down. So be friends with people who actually make you feel good. And many of you will have questions on this, that ma'am, we can't choose our relatives, we can't choose our friends, but then this friend has been there with me since forever, and now she's becoming like this or he's becoming like this. Now what do I do? Well, this is something which is you if you change your vibrations and the way you think, there will be certain relationships and there will be certain friendships which will just start drifting off. Okay, and how to handle this in a very very beautiful way is something that I'm not very good at. Okay, all I would just say is that uh, avoid these people. There are times when you cannot do anything about them. You can, the the least you can do is just avoid them. Okay, keep away from people who make you feel bad, and cover yourself. Keep a coverage around you, keep an armor around you where they don't literally kind of put a chink in your armor, dent in your armor, and they make you feel bad. So the people you move around with, look for other people to talk to, look for other role models, look for other associations, and see if you can fit in. Now it's more easily said than done. Okay, getting into a new group, getting into a new cool dude type of things. There are many movies like Mean Girls and many such places where the nerds become friends with each other and the cool dudes are friends with each other, and you just cannot kind of get into a new group without proving yourself to be what it is. I'll give another example of my own self, that is, about there was this Cool Dude Girls, and I was part of that team. Okay, so my best friend Vinu and Rohini all were part of what was called the Cheapy Club during my time when I was in class 12. I came to know that they had made a Cheapy Club and I was not a member. So I went and asked them, I said, how can I not be the member? I'm one of the most popular people in the whole school, and you all love me so much. So they say, we love you, but you're not cheap enough. I said, what do you mean by cheap enough? So they were like, that's exactly, if you have to ask us what it is to be cheap enough, then you're not cheap enough. Okay, so this is the kind of problem I went through, and I literally had to sleep in class, and I had to be a little rude to a couple of teachers and do all that in order to get membership into the GP club. And trust me, I realized it was not that worth it. Okay, so I'm still one of the popular friends, but and I belong everywhere. So create a trust in yourself. Okay, so you have to realize that you yourself have got all the potential in the world, and if someone throws you in the air, you are going to develop wings and fly, or even if you fall, you're not going to get hurt. Okay, because there's going to be some power that will kind of keep you safe, and that is all that you need to know. So in order to build that trust, you need to have these three competencies within you. That is, one of them is competency, that is, you got to be competent in your subject, in your beingness, in your the whole thing. You've got to know how to do it. Okay, so how to make good friends, how to study, how to do your job well, how to uh, cook food or clean the house, or be there for your mom, how to drive your vehicle or whatever. So competence is very important, and with it is also important is the confidence and the character behind it. Okay, so if you have the competence, but if you don't have the confidence, it will not work for you. If you have the competence and the confidence, but if you don't have the character, you don't have the positive will, then it is also not going to work for you. So if you have the confidence and the character, but you don't have the competence to do something, that too will not work in your favor. This was a paper written by Professor Suresh Vishwanath, so I have taken it from him. So thank you to him for having put this down. Okay, so on that note, let me just come to one very important part, that is self image. Okay, the way you see yourself is the way you are. Okay, it doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't matter if you are fat, thin, pretty, fair. You may say, ma'am, it's easy for you to talk. Trust me, it's not. Okay, it's what you think you are is what people will think that you are. I was always told in my childhood that I was not good looking, I was not pretty enough, I was not all that stuff. And trust me, the only person in my life who was lecherous with me in the first meeting, and who was like, open about how much he liked me, was the guy I married, that is Professor Suresh Vishwanath. And before then, no one would come forward. No one would come and say that they liked me or they loved me. And my sister had an array of boyfriends, and no one knew about her boyfriends. And when she got married in an arranged marriage style, these 20, 30 boyfriends that she had, right from taporis of the street to the richest guys in Allahabad, following her. And even in Pune, she had friends. Okay, boyfriends, not just friends. Okay, and she had literally people ogling over her. And I I was also convinced that she was the world's most beautiful looking girl, and I was just nothing. So I used to focus on my charm. I used to focus on my being nice. I would focus on being tough, and I would focus on my studies and my ability to read and gain knowledge and take it forward. Okay, so later on, when I got married to Suresh sir, and when he started telling me how good I was, then I realized that I was really pretty. And then I started talking to the others. And then suddenly, after my marriage to Suresh Vishwanath, there were so many men, an array of people who came forward, and they told me that they liked me more than my sister. They preferred me as a girlfriend, and yet they won't want to look at me. I said, why? Because there's something about you, you're too pure or whatever it is. Now, put that aside. You are what you think you are. Okay, so it doesn't matter what your size is. I'm going to show you a small little video right now to prove it to you that this works. Okay, and I've learned about, increasing the speed and all that. So can you see this rooster and the dog, and can you see how the dog is trying to kill the rooster? Okay, but just watch this video till the end and look at the attitude of the rooster versus the dog. Can you see how the dog is just backing away and the rooster is not giving up at all? Okay, and the dog is also right now giving him a good fight. But watch, see what happens. Do you see that? Can you see this happening?
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing, isn't it? And see, he's not giving up. Can you see the video is not coming to an end? And I haven't increased the speed of the video at all. Can you see that the dog is still running and the rooster is running behind? This is a real life scene. It's not. See, just not giving up completely. Okay, so this is how it is. It is your attitude that tells you. And if you have any problems, put on songs like this. This is one of my favorite songs. Okay, so I always in my training programs also I make people stand up and dance. कोई कहे कहता रहे कितना भी हमको दीवाना, हम लोगों से होकर है ये जमाना, जब साज है आवाज है फिर किस लिए हिचकिचाना, गाएंगे हम अपने दिलों का तराना, बिगड़े दुनिया बिगड़ने दो, जले जो दुनिया. Are you getting this song? Okay. हमारे लिए ही तो है आसमां और जमीन, सितारे भी हम तोड़ लेंगे हमें है यकीन, अंबर से है आगे हमारा ठिकाना. I don't lose an opportunity. So if you want to kind of open your and dance with me, fine. Otherwise, I'm doing it. Okay. And then there is also सपनों का जो देश है वहां हम हैं पले, गए अपना जादू बिछाते चले, मोहब्बत हसीनों को हम सिखाते रहे, हमें दिल और नींदे चुराना, हम है नए अंदाज क्यों है पुराना. Yeah, come on, all of you, move your top of your body, get up and dance. Move your whatever you're sitting on also, okay, and just feel good. कोई भी हमें कितना भी कहे दीवाना, I have it in me. Okay, put on such songs, put on any song that you like, share the link of the songs or the names of the songs in the group. Okay, and tell us what is it that tickles you. Okay, there's another song which is like that very typically परी हूँ मैं मुझे न छूना. Okay, when I got married to my husband, I stopped listening to that song. I did want him to touch me, okay, and I did want him to hug me. I did want him to come close to me. So on that note, take it forward and please realize that this strokes is something that is essential for our very existence. Okay, children, the more they are massaged, the more they are stroked, the more they are loved, the more their cheeks are pulled. Okay, the more they grow, the more you tie them up and like make them sleep, and then when you free them and you give them a nice massage, they'll go to sleep. Ask Meena has just got a grandson and she's telling me, दीदी ठंडी बजती है इसीलिए हम उसको जो है ना रोज नहीं नहलाते हैं. And I was like, what? नहलाओ, यहाँ पे पूना में where is the ठंडी बज रही है? There's no ठंडी बजोइंग here. Okay, so take the child out in the sun. Okay, and just give the child a nice massage, like literally. So what is that? These strokes are supposed to be even mental. So when you are praising a person, when you're complimenting a person, when you're appreciating a person, when you're thanking a person, that is positive strokes. But trust me, It is better to get negative strokes than to be ignored. It's better to get scolded. It's better to get criticized. It's better to get reprimanded. Are thappad maro, but touch to karo, man. Okay. Don't ignore me. Gali to do, but abuse me. Okay. And use me, but do not ignore me. Okay. So research has proved that kids who have been ignored, kids who have not been massaged, kids who have not been looked after, have actually deteriorated, and some of them have died in orphanages. So in orphanages also, kids who've been looked after by the nannies over there, by the volunteers over there, they grow up to be full of gratitude, and they grow up to be even, happily bitter or embittered, but they still grow up to be something, and they make it in the world. So do that, and don't wait for other people to give you strokes. Okay. This was one of my favorite HR managers in PepsiCo. I did a program with them. So I, kind of wrote down an acronym for her name. So her name was Garima. So she's gracious, she's ambitious, she's reliable, she's inspiring, she's motivating, she's awesome. Write down acronyms to your name. Keep changing it, whatever be your name. Change the spelling of your name if you like something, and if that thing is not there. Make a value, make paintings about yourself. Click some nice selfies nowadays, pout. Make some videos, put them on Instagram reels, and get everyone to like them. And you'll be so surprised. Don't wait for disappointments. Okay. Don't just have that positive attitude that you are going to be loved. You are loved. Okay. Write a love letter to yourself. Don't wait for others to write that to you. Write poems for yourself. Write stories about yourself and put them in your blogs. Share them in whichever post you want to share, wherever you are comfortable. Okay. And just remember one thing, all of you can unmute yourself and say this loudly. Okay, if you want, otherwise just type it out. I am designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. Come on, all of you together. I am designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with the seeds of greatness. Okay. Remember one thing, that you are writing the script of your life, whether it is constructive, progressive, where you're always growing up, okay, or it is destructive, deteriorating, where you're crying and complaining and fighting and abusing, or it is just stagnant. It is in your hands. The script is in your hands. If something goes wrong in your life, it can be an accident or an incident. If it happens for the second time, it is a coincidence. And there are very few coincidences, but if it happens for third time and more, then it is becoming a pattern in your life. Watch out for the pattern. Watch out for amazing patterns. Okay. And become aware of amazing good patterns in your life, where you are constantly attracting good jobs, good people, good projects, good family members, invitations, and nice lovely clothes. You go out to the shop, or you go out on the street and you find the dress of your choice for just, or maybe go on the internet and you'll find that somebody is letting go of their clothes, and they have got new clothes, and you find a beautiful dress which is, just for barely 100 rupees or 200 rupees, something that would normally cost 2 3,000 rupees, you're getting it for so cheap. That, make that kind of a pattern in your life. Okay. Don't say you're not important. It simply isn't true. The fact that you're born is proof that God has a plan for you. The path may seem unclear right now, but one day you will see that all that came before was truly meant to be. God wrote the book, and that is your life, and that's all you need to know. Each day that you're living right now was written long, long ago by you in your Buddhahood as God. And remember one thing, that you as God only writes bestsellers. So be proud of who you are. Your character in your book of life is very important. Why? Because you are the star. So wherever you are, just stop, come on, thamba, and think and act with a lot of respect, first for yourself and then for the world around you. Keep telling yourself, look at yourself in the mirror and keep saying, I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm calm, I'm courageous, I'm in charge, I'm worthy, I'm kind. Come on, write down. Tell me. Come on, participate on this. This is very important for me. Participate and tell me What is it that you're going to write to yourself the next time you see yourself in the mirror? Quickly, all of you, start typing. It's already now 10 o'clock, 10:10. Another 20 minutes, the lecture will be over. Right now, even if you're sleepy, you are awake. So wakey. And tell me, some participation, guys. I believe in myself, I can do it. Yes, Vedi, I am the happiest in the world. Exactly. I'm the luckiest. I'm the I'm the best. There's that song of Shah Rukh Khan which says, I'm the best, I'm the best, I'm the best. And then when he says it thrice, then the world says back, yes, yes, you are the best. Okay. You don't have to be positive, you are positivity, because becoming positive is really stressful. Okay, you are it. Okay, I'll just prove it to you all for those of you who want to understand that you are positive. How many of you have heard about this thing called atoms? That's the smallest. Okay, you break, take a part of your skin, or take a part of the table around you, or the specs that you're wearing, or the computer or your phone, and break. What do you come to? The atom. Okay, and what is the atom made up of? Come on, type. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. So protons and neutrons are what? They make up the nucleus, and electrons are outside. So what is the atomic weight of an atom? It is made up of the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So what is the energy of protons? It is positive. And what is the energy of neutrons? Neutral. And what is the energy of electrons? Negative. Does electrons have any weight? No, they are just, negligible. Okay, yet they are important. So the amount of positivity you have, the kind of jealousy and, apathy that you're going to attract is also going to be that much. Okay, so the Prime Minister of our country, Narendra Modi ji, very positive. Look at the number of negativity he is attracting. In his own way, yesterday some of you said Rahul Gandhi is a leader. Look at the negativity he's attracting. Look at the negativity Indira Gandhi ji attracted. Look at the negativity even most of the stars also attract. Okay, and the problems that people attract, the ones who are positive. Okay, Kapil Sharma, so positive as a comedian, the world's best comedian. He's been literally considered to be one of the most popular shows in the whole world in terms of comedy. He is really good at it. Okay, so you are protons. You are made up of that crux in you. Okay, just a simple bath will make you feel very cheerful. So this is what I showed you yesterday, that all that you are is a result of what you've thought. So just change the way of your thinking, and let's watch another film. Okay, and this one I'm going to speed it up a bit. Okay, this is about Nick Vujicic. This is a guy without arms and legs. And
what sort of
okay, and you'll notice that for small things that you have taken for granted, he struggles even to switch on the light. He's struggling. Okay, and then to comb his hair, he struggles. Okay, to drink water,
the best testimony in the Bible for us to give is basically our lives as we live it, that the whole world will see that Jesus lives in us by our fruits, by the way we live. And I mean, I even go to public places and people by my smile. So I think it's very important to be open to the way God wants to use us, and His plan for our lives. The desire for me to be independent and live a normal life and a full life is a dream of mine. I really just want to put limits aside and live life to the fullest and just going for it. So that's my main motivation for. I mean, I love new challenges. I mean, it was a pretty cool challenge. Working out how I'm going to brush my teeth and all that sort of stuff. But so I enjoy that sort of stuff. But it sometimes get frustrating. It sometimes does get frustrating. But yeah, overall, my motivation would be just live life and not let anything stop me from overcoming any challenge. where you are and what the obstacle is. There are a lot of things in my life that I cannot change, and obstacles have come in my way. Some have been in my control, some haven't been. Obviously, being born without arms and legs wasn't in my control, and that is a big obstacle. To overcome an obstacle, you have to realize where you are, and
to visualize
yourself overcoming these obstacles. To focus on the positive things that we do have, using everything that we have to the best of our ability, and never giving up. I mean, overcoming big obstacles, you won't overcome it the first time, obviously. But when you fall down, God comes and gives you the strength to get up again and try again.
There in the ground, his body lay, light of the world by darkness slain, then bursting forth.
Can you see this? Give a big hand. Okay, isn't it awesome? How many of you are still afraid of the water? Still afraid of jumping in the pool? Okay, so there's a lot that you will find that people have issues. Okay, this particular video was taken when he was only 27 years old. It's a very old video, and right now he's, I think, in his mid 40s or something, and he's not only married and with one child, he's actually got 4 children. Okay, one boy, another boy, and then twins, 2 girls. And he's one of the most powerful motivational speaker in the world. I have recently heard him through this forum called the Success Gyan, and he was good. Okay, and earlier when he was younger, he was like really too good. So listen to his videos, and this is the time when I wanted to give you the break. So if he can do it, you can also do it. So please do not let your mind say this is not possible. So another intellectual, I mean, the kind of intellectual blocks that we can have is, not knowing how to do things, not being methodical, not being systematic, not knowing the language, not being creative, and not getting into problem solving. So problem solving and decision making itself is a full lecture. If you all want it, we can do it as a part of your thing. And there is another exercise called the nail game. Okay, this time today you're not showing me the motivation, otherwise I would have shown you that how on the head of one nail, without using any adhesives, 16 nails can be balanced and still be there on it. As an exercise, we make people, the participants, do it. I show it also. I could show it to you on the screen here, but I need that participation, I need that power from you guys. So just not knowing about something is not enough. You can pick up, there's this guy called Google Mama. Okay, you can just go there and ask him anything. He is, I'm calling him a him, okay, because many people call it a her, because there's a lot of there are some jokes on it. Okay, so I'm not going to go over there on those jokes. So just lack of knowledge is not enough to set you back. Okay, go out there, learn, create, and recreate, innovate and re-innovate, and get into whatever it is. Remove the T of your can't. Okay, you can if you think you can, and that is important. And there is a lot of intelligence within you where it comes to the left brain and the right brain. Okay, the left brain is the logical side of you, the right brain is supposed to be the creative side, and this is what kind of takes you to, okay, there is a full lecture on it. Okay, there's an exercise also that I would have made you do. So there is the neocortex, the limbic, the leptal, fight, fright, freeze. I've already talked about all this. Okay, so we're going to split, kind of just jump over it. The left side controls the right part of the body, the right side controls the left part of the body. The left side is supposed to be a logical, mathematical, linear, sequential brain. Okay, and the right one is the creative brain. It is the feelings brain, it is the emotional, it is the playful, it is the one which has no restrictions, it has no fears, it doesn't think too much, it just intuits and it listens to its own heart. And you'll notice that in our body, the heart is a little towards the left side. The spleen, the pancreas that takes care of the emotional aspects of our body, is all on the left side of every man and woman. So there is this whole concept of Ardhanarishwar, that is, the whole, oh God, there's so much in this. Okay, so there is this whole concept of anima and animus, the woman and the man, the yin and the yang. Okay, and this is on a lighter note. if you can understand this and enjoy it, whatever it is, our duty is to integrate them both, strengthen the corpus callosum, that is these small thread-like structures that are joining the brain, the left brain and the right brain. That forms the intelligence, and it can be done in many ways. And our life's aim is not to balance between the heart and the head, or the left brain and the right brain, but it is to integrate it together and come together as a very, very intelligent and a creative person. We can do it by brain gym exercises and taking it forward. Then we also have what is called expressive blocks, where we don't know how to use our body. We use the wrong language. We use the wrong way of putting things. There is a way of saying a particular thing. I'll give you another story. How many of you want to hear a story? Okay, fine. Don't participate. Okay, and so I'll still tell you the story because I feel like telling you the story. So this story is about this Akbar and Birbal. What happened was that there was one very good astrologer. Akbar was going through some problems, and a lot of people were like, attacking him, and he was going through issues. So he called an astrologer, and he, asked. So the astrologer told him, you know what, Mr. Japana ji, you got too many problems in your life. All your relatives, even your grandchildren, are going to die before you. You're going to be a very lonely man. You're going to have a lot of challenges in your life. Okay. And it's going to be a super, super horrible life that you're leading. And yes, you have all the name and the fame, but who's going to love you? Even your children are not going to love you. And so Akbarji got very angry. He just told this guy, get out. Okay. And you are like Desh Nikala. I banish you. So this fellow just goes to Birbal and he says that, what do I do? This guy has a challenging life. He is going to, kind of see the death of his children and his grandchildren and all that. So Birbal told him, this is not the way to talk to the Jahapana. You can say the same thing without lying, but put it differently. So he goes back, dressed up and with all mask and everything, changes his name and all that. Those days you didn't have to show identification. You didn't have an Aadhaar card and a PAN card and all that. So without that, he appears and he says, I'm a very good astrologer. So he says, okay, fine, go ahead. That guy was useless, but I'll give you another chance. And anything negative coming from you, you are in trouble. He says, no. So he says, you know what, Japana, you got a very long life, full of beautiful challenges. You got so much power. Anyone who comes trying to take problems with you, you have got the power to face it. Okay. And people will keep troubling you, but you've got so much power and you're going to outlive all your relatives. You got such a long life that you're going to outlive your relatives. And you got it all. You got all the comfort, you got everything. And some small people will still try to trouble you. You know why? Because you are the elephant. So the dogs will come and bark. Okay. You got to just forget about it. You don't even care about them because you're not just any elephant. You are the elephant. Okay. And you are the Jahapana. You are the emperor. You are everything. So what happened to this guy? He went back with 1,000 gold coins. Okay. So the way you talk to people, the way you express yourself, whether it's a passive management style that you have or a dominant, the way you take responsibility. Look at this video. Okay. And I'm not going to pass forward. It's a small video. Look at it very carefully. Okay. This guy has got his arms and legs in place and he takes the responsibility of one person, lets him ride on his shoulder. What happens is, looking at him, everyone starts speculating and jumping on him. It's like the boss piling upon him. Others are also saying, even I want to ride you. I also want you to work for me. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. Come on, everyone clap. Little bitty baby. In his hands, he's got the little bitty baby. Can you see that? And look at his expression. He's just happy. His feet are firmly planted on the ground. And he's telling that lady, what's stopping you? Okay. So it's an Adidas thing that says impossible is nothing. So you might say, man, this is an ad. Of course, this is an ad. And maybe this is all, made up. But take it as an example. When you're out there working and responsibilities are kind of, dumped on you again and again, you have the power in you. Take more responsibility. With more responsibility comes more, type it out, power. Okay, that's what. Yeah, go ahead, just speak it out, Gayatri. Are you with me? So just, yes, with more responsibility, Mayank, comes more power. And Spider-Man's uncle said it, the first fellow's uncle said it, and everyone's uncle, aunt, girlfriend, MJ, everyone said the same thing, all the three Spider-Mans. Okay, so therefore there will be some environmental blocks also. There will be distractions, your WhatsApp, your Instagram, your Messenger, your TikTok, and your something like that, all kinds of other stuff. I don't even know what it is. And whatever it is, there can be some physical discomfort. Girls may go through their menstrual cycle. Sometimes you feel that you don't have support. People are not really there for the assignments. You have to do it all alone. There can be stress, there can be lack of communication, there can be boredom, there can be expectations of the family. Okay, so how do you handle the stress? There's a full lecture on it. We are going to be taking upon it, and we're going to do that. We need to start prioritizing our work. We need to invest time to prepare ourselves. We got to plan. And very often we wish the time would go back, but it doesn't happen that way. If you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. I'm very sorry to say that. So therefore, plan, okay, and take a screenshot of this and put it over there in your group. Okay, all of you, take a screenshot of this and put it in the uh, DP. Okay, so plan, prepare, practice. Plan, practice, prepare. Plan, prepare, practice. Plan, practice, prepare. When you have planned properly, you've practiced it several times, you've prepared yourself, you've practiced it 100 times, only then you go out there and perform. You think it's easy for people to just start speaking in the public? You think it's easy for people, however intelligent you are, you need a lot of preparation and planning and practice. And this slide is going to be coming to you again when we are going to be talking about presentation skills. I'm going to show it to you. Use your creative potential. You've been told, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this so often that children, when they're small, their potential is so high. But as they grow old, their potential just dips down to only 20%. And when they're adults, your age, they don't even know their potential. Why is that happening? Is because children laugh several times a day, but adults barely laugh. This morning, I'm asking you all to smile, smile, smile. Ultimately what I did, I just looked at my own phone. I pinned myself and I'm looking at my face only, smiling to myself, not waiting for any participation and smile from you all. And I'm just laughing it out and just being happy in spite of, losing another loving person in my life. So if you can't smile, watch videos like this. Look at this kid. Okay. Look at this kid laughing away. Okay, I can watch this video again and again. This kid really makes me laugh. Okay. And he laughs out loudly. Nothing for no reason at all. Okay. Tickle yourself. See something that makes you smile. See the photographs of the beloved people around you. Put them on your phone. See yourself. See the people around you. Yes, Vedi. Enjoying it, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So give all these, all of you, type out all these emojis. It will be fun, no? Okay. So with that, there'll be also some cultural blocks. There will be dislike for change. However good the change is, when the change happens, people are not happy. When you've got to get out of your school and go to a new college, you are enthusiastic initially, but there is a lot of stress. Change is something that people just do not like. Okay, so whether it is competition or cooperation, there's a video on it. I can show it the next time. Okay, I would like to show you the last video. It's only The time is already up and we've already wasted a lot of time. Mute yourself, whoever you are. Amit Talreja, mute yourself. Who's there still? Not muted. Can anyone please point out who it is who's not muted? I'm not able to find them. Yeah, but I'm not able to mute him also. What has he done? Amit, if you don't mute yourself, I'm going to remove you. I have the power to remove you. Huh, you're silent, but you haven't yet muted yourself.
Ma'am, he has not connected the audio.
Then who's making the noise? Somebody else was. I think they have muted themselves. Thank you, whoever spoke. I'm so sorry. I cannot. Aditya. Thank you, Aditya. Okay. There is a lot. And isn't this class a lot of fun? Some of you at least respond to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So
Yes,
please
ma'am.
give me that energy. If you all don't give me this energy, this class can really go for a toss and I'm not going to enjoy myself. I'm going to tell ma'am to cancel your class completely, okay, or to change your timings. I would really suggest that you speak up in the group, okay, talk to Deepa ma'am and change the timings or participate. Because I cannot teach a group which is, and this is really the first time it is happening with me. Okay. Yesterday, you all were still quite participative. So thank you very much. And for the rest of you, even if a few of you, Sanya, Narendra, Jainam, and Harsh, Asha, Shravini, Larissa, Mayank, Roshni, Aditya, you guys just very, you all participate. Okay. Even if I have got 5-10 of you participating, I'm going to be willing to tolerate the rest of the people and they can enjoy it or not. It's really their choice, and I'm not going to be rude about it but or arrogant about it. But seriously guys, I need that energy from you all. Okay, I need at least 1 or 2 people to continuously participate and continuously be there. And okay, I have a lot of energy of my own. I can continue talking to myself. I'll give my own answers. But seriously, it is fun when it's two-way. Okay. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's why you need two for copulation, for sex, and all that. Masturbation is not fun beyond a point. That's why people get married and they go through all the problems. And if you don't like me talking this, you shouldn't have pushed me towards it. Okay. So commit to yourself, invest time to prepare yourself and create your own sanctuary. Okay, your own sanctum sanctuary. Create a place where you can be with yourself and where you are happy. For me, my sanctum sanctorum was always the toilet because I really did not have any other place. Even the terrace was not very comfortable during those days. My terrace was like, okay. Later on, of course, I created a room on the roof on my terrace and created it into my office and my sanctum sanctorum. But toilet became such a sanctuary for me that seriously, for me, my bathroom, my toilet, even now has to be neat and clean, has to be dry. I've had some vernacular people telling me, bathroom kabhi koi gila na rahe, dry kaise reh sakta hai? So I tell them, come to my bath. Okay. It's only wet when I'm having a shower. Otherwise, the rest of the time it is dry. When I leave the bathroom after having a shower, I mop it myself. Okay. And I switch on the fan or the or the exhaust, and I make sure that it is there. It is my sanctum sanctorum. So whether it is whatever it is, it is your room with the cute furniture, or it is a place that you call your own, your terrace, your corner, a garden somewhere, or your neighbor's home, whatever it is, create that for yourself. And remember one thing: in order to improve your problem solving skills in life, in order to be happy in life, you need what is called a methodical approach, a continuous practice with a lot of perseverance, and the confidence in the ability to be successful. Okay, so there is a video that I could show you. Are you interested in seeing the video? If I get a yes, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, I'll show it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I can show this video to you during the presentation skills also. Trust me, I'm not going to deprive any of you of anything, in spite of the fact that, please, for pity's sake, okay, literally for pity's sake, I don't know who this pity is, whether it is that pity, take pity on me, okay, or take pity on yourself, take pity on the classes. But please, my dear students, participate and be happy. And okay, fine, I just
Yes, ma'am, we will.
like showing you all this one. Okay, I'm going to show it to you again, because this is something which even I see again and again, and I feel very inspired. This is a TED talk, and this is not a TEDx talk. Okay, this is one of the most popular TED talks. You can just check it out. I can send you the link also. Okay.
This is really a 2-hour presentation I give to high school students, cut down to 3 minutes. And it all started one day on a plane on my way to TED 7 years ago. And in the seat next to me was a high school student, a teenager, and she came from a really poor family. And she wanted.
Can you see how old it is? 2005. Okay, and his name is Richard St. John. Okay, so I will just write it in the chat, and you all can do your research and actually find this video and his other videos also, and post this link. And for the others, Richard St. John. Today an overdose of Christianity is happening now with Nick Paju also, and with him also, but be with it, doesn't matter. It's the Christmas spirit. Go ahead, come on, talk. Hello. Why is the video not playing?
To make something of her life. And she asked me a simple little question. She said, what leads to success? And I felt really badly because I couldn't give her a good answer. So I get off the plane and I come to TED. And I think, geez, I'm in the middle of a room of successful people. So why don't I ask them what helped them succeed and pass it on to kids? So here we are, 7 years, 500 interviews later.
Can you see
and I'm
this?
gonna tell you
7
what
years of
really leads to
research and
success
500
and makes
interviews
TED just
later.
tick. And the first thing is passion.
Chai.
Freeman Thomas says, I'm driven by my passion. Kids just do it for love. They don't do it for money. Carol Coletta says, I would pay someone to do what I do. And the interesting thing is, if you do it for love, the money comes anyway. Work. Rupert Murdoch said to me, it's all hard work. Nothing comes easily, but I have a lot of fun. Did he say fun, Rupert? Yes. Tedsters do have fun working, and they work hard. I figured they're not workaholics, they're workaholics. Good. Alex Garden says, to be successful, put your nose down in something and get damn good at it. There's no magic, it's practice, practice, practice. And it's focus. Norman Jewison said to me, I think it all has to do with focusing yourself on one thing. And push. David Gallo says, push yourself. Physically, mentally, you've got to push, push, push. You got to push through shyness and self-doubt. Goldie Hawn says, I always had self-doubts. I wasn't
very
good enough, I
old
wasn't smart enough.
actor.
I didn't think I'd make it. Now, it's not always easy to push yourself, and that's why they invented mothers. Frank Gehry. Frank Gehry said to me, my mother pushed me.
My son can also say
Sure.
that. My
Shirley
case
Newman
also,
says
my
it
mother
was a
pushed me.
privilege to serve as a doctor. Now, a lot of kids tell me they want to be millionaires. And the first thing I say to them is, okay, well, you can't serve yourself.
Save
You
up.
got to serve others something of value, because that's the way people really get rich. Ideas. Tedster Bill Gates says, I had an idea. Founding the first microcomputer software company. I'd say it was a pretty good idea. And there's no magic to creativity. and
Simple
coming up
things
with
in life.
ideas. It's just doing some
Listen
very
is
simple
right at the
things.
top.
And I
Make
give lots of
connections
evidence.
also. Ask questions.
Persist.
Be
Joe Price
curious.
says persistence is the #1 reason for our
Lage
success.
raho munna
You
bhai.
got to persist through failure. You got to persist through crap, which of course means criticism, rejection, assholes, and pressure. So the answer to this question is simple. Pay $4,000 and come to TED.
Nowadays it's
Or
become
better than
free.
that, do the 8 things, and trust me, these are the big 8 things that lead to success. Thank you, Tedsters, for all your reading.
So did you like the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yes,
good,
Yes,
good,
ma'am.
good, good, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, show me the chat box also. Yes, very good. Richard St. John. So remember one thing, that the success of your company, of your life, is dependent on the ability of its staff, that is people like you, to solve problems effectively and to work day in and day out, through innovation, through tact, doing it tactfully. And this applies not only to senior management but to everyone. So there's another video of Richard St. John which I'm going to leave it to you to find out. Any questions? And I know there are none. Quickly, some learnings. Type out a few learnings, whatever you learned even from this video and from whatever you learned today, and type it out quickly. And tomorrow we are going to be talking about emotional intelligence. So be prepared about this emotional resilience. I'm not giving you homework. I'm just telling you, dress up and show up and participate and have fun, and let's take it forward. So thank you. Have a nice day. I'm going to end this session. So those of you who want to say thank you, etc., can start saying your thank yous. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing.
Thank you, ma'am.
God bless you. Have
Thank
a
you,
nice
ma'am.
day.
Thank you,
And,
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
yes,
ma'am.
and you all can also kind of start leaving the room. And anyone who has questions and learnings, please share. So what did you learn, those of you who are still here? And you know what, this dog I showed you, her this thing, her sister is like, that Prutha is the girl, whose dog it is, and Shilpa is the mother, like, of Prutha. So there is a Prutha here also. So after hearing Prutha's name, Prutha Bhandarkar's name, I didn't think that Prutha was such a common name, but I see there's a Prutha in my class also. So very nice, very good. So have a nice day. See you all tomorrow. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
I
you,
hope
ma'am.
you all enjoyed today. Did
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Did you
ma'am.
apply more today or yesterday?
Today.
Today.
Hey, oh, how sweet. Thank you so much. Okay. So God bless you. All the best. Okay. See you tomorrow.